Welcome, everybody, to Dead Talk Live, and today we are joined by Amit Bala and Lucas Jensen, the creators and writers of Hello Tomorrow, which is premiering exclusively on Apple TV Plus on February 17th. Guys, thank you so much for being on our show. Congratulations on Hello Tomorrow, and let's just get right to it. Amit, tell us how the setting for Hello Tomorrow, being a mixture of old technology as well as futuristic technology, became the background for this story.
Well, we thought that uh, we've all been kind of sold something in our lives. Let's call it the American dream, and a lot of the aesthetics that developed in the show came out of advertising in the mid-century and early 20th century in corporate kind of desires to sell us a new future. And well, why do we all dream of jetpacks and hover cars? And everybody knows what that is and is familiar with it. But it's because it lives in our kind of a collective consciousness and a kind of imagination that we wanted to bring to life and to show for its reality. That is to say, sometimes the robots don't work so well. There's a little rust over here. That van didn't do its job in the first episode. So I think that's I hope that answers the question. That's kind of where the aesthetic kind of came out for us.
Okay.
Um,
It makes total sense. Now, Lucas, when you guys were developing this concept and you were coming up with the idea, was the time, setting, the place, the technology sort of the catalyst for the story, or was it the characters themselves, and then you built it around that time era?
It all happens at the same. It's all going like this. I mean, one of the things that really got us going at the beginning was we were watching all of these training videos that they would make for salesmen in the 1950s. So like teaching a kid how to become a car salesman in the 50s, and they were all these hokey reenactments, and you would have this kid in the video saying like, "Oh God, gee, gosh, you mean if I help Mrs. McKenna get in the car that she and her family deserve, then one day I can make assistant manager." And it's full of this sort of aw shucks optimism
Yeah.
that is both so innocent and kind of so beautiful and so heartbreaking as you see a salesman who like is possessed of a deep belief in what they're doing, but at the same time is getting completely ground in the gears of this hulking capitalist machinery. It's a care, and so yes, that's the time, but it's also the people.
Yeah.
It's a time of people, and it's a show about people who are delusional and who organize their lives around delusions because they've been sold the idea that their lives are going to be or should be better than they really are.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, the visuals in Hello Tomorrow are absolutely stunning. I mean, just beautiful. Was it incredibly difficult to get a studio to sign on board uh, due to the complex nature of what would be involved in bringing all these visuals to life?
You took a lot of salesmanship.
yeah, you're selling people to make a big TV show like this on two guys who hadn't made a TV show before. Did take a little bit of magic there, but I honestly think that the studio and Apple and like they got it. They knew that people would like this. I think that excited them about it. They knew that like being able, we would be able to talk about today in with this kind of cool distance, that there's a kind of, we all have this nostalgia that things were better at some time in the past, and we all have this belief that everything's going to be solved in the future when they invent that thing.
Yeah.
And both of those might be a little bit delusional as kind of organizing principles and kind of mashing them together. I don't know. I think that everybody, they saw what it could be, and then it was up to us to deliver it as best we could.
Absolutely. Now, Lucas, we don't see many traveling salesmen anymore these days. One of the messages that I got from this story is that The world we live in, the stuff around us can change, but human nature tends to stay the same. Do you agree with that?
I'm so
That's the
glad. I'm
most
so glad
beautiful
that's what
thing that's happened all day. These
Yes,
saying
I
that.
mean, look, to us, that's a very optimistic, heartening thing about the show, which is even in a future where gadgets are supposed to take away all of our drudgery or solve all of our problems, we're still going to have so many problems, thank God, because that's our lot in life as humans. And to us, the show, if anything, it's less of a critique of technology and more of a sort of a celebration of humanity, even in its flawed state. We talked about delusion, and the world of the show is a delusional world. But the same delusions that make you want to move to the moon or sell somebody else to move to the moon, those are very similar to the delusions that make us want to fall in love or forgive people or do those kinds of crazy delusional acts. So for us, those are very similar muscles. And we hope that the show animates the idea that our human capacity to tell ourselves stories about what the world could or should be like both leads us to ruin and is the only thing that will save us.
Now, let's talk a minute about the main character, Jack.
Please.
Multi-layered character, brilliantly played by Billy Crudup. How could, he could be any real-world figure in the last 50 years or more. He could be anybody. What was the inspiration behind the character of Jack?
Jack, well, there's a very brilliant documentary by the Maisels brothers about salesmen that informed our sense of Jack. We thought about a world in which kind of consumerism or gadgetry was the religion or was what organized our lives. And in a world like that, the salesman is the priest. And so let us make the great a great salesman worthy of the world that we've created and worthy of the kind of delusions that we're all living in now. I mean, Jack is let's just say for a second, Jack, portrayed by Billy, is a brilliant and beautiful character with layers that even we did not expect or comprehend. There were many times on set where Billy would read a line and you'd be like, holy shit, that's, you'd read the line 100 times editing it, and it was never in your mind the way he said it, and that's the way it is in the cut, because he was able to find a depth to it that it was so inspiring to us. I mean, Jack's a very complicated cat, but those are the guys worth paying attention to a little bit in a TV show, and I think that he embodies very potently paradoxes that we all embody and contradictions that we all embody. Especially in his role as a father. Not to mention his stuff.
No, he is a salesman and he's a father as well. There's this the wonderful moment in the second episode where he's taken Joey, his young mentee, along, and Joey gets his first crack at a sale and it doesn't go well. And Billy turns to him and says with a totally straight face, "Well, that's the best first shot I've ever seen." Yeah. And he knows it's a lie. Joey knows it's a lie. The audience knows it's a lie. It's the biggest lie anybody's ever put on television.
But he sells it.
Billy sells it with this amazing conviction where you think, well, if he just hears that enough, maybe it's going to work out. We're both fathers. Amit became a father days before our writers' room opened on this show for the first
Congratulations.
time. And thank you. You want to talk about degree of difficulty, but if it occurs to us that, the first thing a good parent does with their children is lie to them. Yeah. You're okay.
It's going to be okay.
I can take care of you. I know what I'm doing. This world is a great place for you.
Absolutely.
And though that to us is the heart and soul of Jack.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Lucas, on the last question, I want to throw this to you. The show opens up in the first episode with this amazing scene that takes place at a diner. and Jack walks in and has this conversation with this man sitting at the counter. Now, the salesman dialogue that goes between these two and other times that Jack is trying to sell, when you guys are writing this dialogue, where did you dig? Because, I mean, it's so effortless, and he could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. That's how good he is. Was that Billy just putting in his own spin on the character, or was that
Well,
all
no,
stuff
I mean
that you guys
you
wrote?
can't do better than Billy. I mean, the
Yeah.
performance is for the ages, and everybody needs to see it. But you know, I'm glad that first scene to us is something obviously that we worked and revised for literally years to get it tuned. And the important thing to us and to Billy about that scene is it's not a sales pitch. He's saving a man's life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Jack as a character. It's the reason he can sell you anything. It's not because he's got the fast lingo. It's because he looks into your eyes and he knows what you need to hear as a human being right now. And in that scene, he walks into a bar and he sees a man who's overcome with despair. And he says to himself, Jack does, well, God damn it, I can't let this man drink himself to death.
Yeah.
I need to give him something to believe in. And you see him in the course of those first few minutes of the show take a man from the depths of this despair to a hope in tomorrow. And it's terrifying that a salesman can do it, but it's also very uplifting. And when you see Billy do it, God damn, you believe it.
He's amazing.
And that's the show. That's the show in a nutshell for us. I'm so glad that you picked up on that.
I want to thank the both of you, Amit Bala, Lucas Jansen. The show again is called Hello Tomorrow. It is premiering Friday, February 17th with the first 3 episodes. You guys got to check this show out. Visually beautiful, amazing cast, dialogue. It has it all. So please check it out. Thank you guys. On behalf of Amit and Lucas and myself, stay safe and stay walking. Goodbye, everybody.